Spooky Sunday. How are we doing, everybody? We're back, moving the chains, rocking my Sandlot edition squints. L7 weenie. Yeah, Oscar Mayer even. Dodger Dog, a weenie. One of my favorite movies of all time. Rocking it right now. Listen, I took a day off. I was trying to get some stuff done, but I am back. Spooky Sunday, Scary Sunday, whatever you want to call it. We are back, rocking, rolling. I got a couple things to talk about today. Chiefs, Chargers, Michigan, Oklahoma, two blue blood programs last night going against each other. John Mateer, Bryce Underwood. I'll get into that today. So let me start with this. So Chiefs, Chargers played Friday night. And I worked Friday. I got off. I went to the gym, got a light workout in. Then I got home, and then I watched the game. And a couple takeaways I had. So I'll start with the Chiefs. Not really up to my level. They kind of were sloppy. 9 penalties. Not much of an Andy Reid kind of team. They're usually pretty buttoned up in that department. But I'm not going to take too much away from it. They're in Brazil. It was a weird mess. I'm just laughing. The NFL made that their stadium. But yet, I don't want to be petty. I don't want to jump the gun. But last year in Brazil, when the Packers and Eagles played, you made it like a shit stadium. I don't get it. Because I feel like Chargers and, Chiefs are pretty big. Chiefs more so big brand than the Chargers. But ever since they added Harbaugh, the marketing and the advertising and all that stuff has gone through the roof. So I just don't understand that. But with the Chiefs, listen, Patrick Mahomes is great. And I still consider him, he's put himself in really elite category with the AFC Championship games, the 3 Super Bowls, all that stuff. And I've seen him live twice, and I've said this multiple times. He's been phenomenal. And it does help. He's got Andy Reid. I'm not disputing that at all. But this is what happens sometimes, and they've lost. They don't have their same down-the-field AAA offense, as I call it, aerial assault attack offense, which means it's just bombs away, deep shots, crossers, bang eight, post. Just a lot of stuff that I used to see with the Chiefs back in the day when Mahomes entered this league and hit the ground running 2018, 50 touchdown passes, 1 MVP. So I do think Mahomes is still great. I think the Chiefs are still a really good football team. They're going to get this right. They got a long way to go. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So Chiefs are going to be good. Travis Kelce, I think this is his last run. It was hard to watch on Friday night, him trying to get open. I know Middlecoff mentioned it on his pod. I haven't listened to it yet, but I probably will tomorrow. But that was my interpretation, just watching him. I know he had the big touchdown on the blown coverage where he kind of snuck in and then went post or corner route down the sideline for that big touchdown against Chargers, which it seems like he does all the time. So I'm not going to jump the gun on the Chiefs. They're still a very good football team. I always figure every year with these kind of games, Chargers, Chiefs, it's always split. I know the Chiefs lately have won the last couple meetings. I think that was the first win for the Chargers since week 3 of 2021, which I remember that game. Excuse me. So I'm going to be not jumping the gun on the Chiefs. It's 1 week. There was some stuff that was alarming. Josh Simmons looked the part. Held his own up against Khalil Mack and those guys on the edges for the Chargers. But impressive win for the Chargers. Just to cap off, Chiefs are going to be okay. Chase Mathis and people I know they're going to be okay. As long as you got Mahomes and Andy Reid, I have no doubt they're going to be in that dance and in the mix in the AFC. Speaking of the Chargers, they impressed me. Listen, I'm a Herbert guy. I watched them against Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl 2019. I know that the passing wasn't really there, but the running was there at 3 touchdowns. And made Wisconsin players that are pretty good athletes look silly. And when I watch Herbert, I don't have a comp for him. I know Lenore Sellers, my guy. He's Dante Culpepper to me, body type, the way he plays, the way that just plays that pop off your TV screen. Herbert, to me, I heard was robotic coming out of college, and I get it. But there's something about him. Every time I watch him, he just fits the part, man. And I think the Chargers are lucky. And I feel like they're kind of in this like Green Bay kind of mold where it's like they get the quarterback right, like nobody talks about it. They've had Drew Brees, they've had Phillip Rivers, and they've had this kid. And I think it's incredible what they've done. Listen, they're going to be fine with Harbaugh. I think I said it last year after the Chief Charger game. Chargers win Kansas City last year at Sunday Night Football. In a couple years, they're going to get this thing right, and they're going to win a Super Bowl. I still believe that to my core, as much as it pains me. I'm a Raider fan. I'm recording this before the Raiders play the Patriots. But my point is, they got a team right now. And when I watched that game the other night, the way that defense was flying around, that Henley guy at linebacker, and just their D-line and physicality and their offensive line holding their own against the Chiefs. They had some struggles with Chris Jones, no doubt about it. They put him on the edge. They put him at defensive end. They move him around with Spags and the creative and the exotic blitzes that he brings. Excuse me. But I still am sold on the Chargers. I think they're a good football team. I love that they added some weaponry now for Herbert to go bring back Keelan Allen. They have Ladd McConkey. They have that Trey Harris kid who I was a big fan of coming out of Ole Miss. Last year, big play threat, big body, unique size and build to kind of get through and stuff. So, if they can get some tight end production, I just feel like the Chargers are right there. Now can you take that next level? You just shocked some people last year by getting in the playoffs and all that. Now take it up another level. And if you can do that, I think the Chargers are set. So, just to recap, Chiefs are going to be good. I don't doubt it. They got Reed, Mahomes, the Hunt family. Brett Veach does an excellent job drafting. They'll get that right. And it's a long way to go. And then the Chargers just keep building. It's hard to watch him and Slater and Alt not on the same field together. But they held their own on Friday night, and I got to give the Chargers credit. They played with physicality. They played more urgency. And good win for the Chargers. They snapped that 8-game losing streak to the Kansas City Chiefs. So a game I want to touch on last night, I want to dabble a little bit in college, is I watched most of the Michigan-Oklahoma game last night. And it was so cool. I mean, those two blue bloods. I've been watching football for 18 years. Those schools have always, to me, been the blue bloods of college football. We talk about Ohio State. We talk about Notre Dame football. Alabama for that run with Nick Saban. Georgia. We kind of throw away Michigan, Oklahoma. Those are two blue bloods, a lot of history, a lot of legacy, a lot of NFL players on both sides, traditions that are unlike no other. Michigan, and then you got Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner. But I got to tell you something. Last night, to me, I know Bryce Underwood and I'm Derek Solomon, if you're listening to this, and Brody and his wife Adrian are awesome. I got to give them a shout out. They do a great job. They always support me with the podcast. I appreciate it. And I remember asking him at the Combine, I said, what do we make of this Bryce Underwood kid? And I got two different responses from Brody and Derek about this. And I see the physical talent. Listen, I watched it, a little bit of it last week. I know it was New Mexico. I'm not going to take too much into it. I was thinking about that this morning. I had to, grind never stops. But my point is, I watched a little bit this morning and I went, okay, so here's a kid that I think has all the talent. Can he get it mentally? And last night and this morning I got out of work and I was watching a clip. He kind of got into it with a teammate. I'm not going to make too much of it. Emotions run high. Their offense was kind of struggling. I feel like he couldn't hit water if it was on the side of a boat. I mean, he was so inaccurate last night. It was like Anthony Richardson light. I don't know where the ball's going. He's spraying that thing all over the field. I don't know where it's going without any touch or accuracy. So he's got to work on that. But then I got to keep thinking to myself, Sammy, he's a freshman. And I get it. But that was alarming last night, the bad habits I saw. Mechanically, and give Brent Venables credit. This is a Brent Venables guy. That's defense is his baby. And he dialed it up last night with pressure, with the different exotic looks and blitzes and all that stuff. And I was very impressed with Brent Venables' defense last night in Oklahoma. Much maligned, because my whole life, Oklahoma's always been offense and no defense. Now, some of that was on Lincoln Riley. Some of that's just the Big 12 and all that stuff. Now Oklahoma's in the SEC now with the big boys. I can take it seriously a little bit. And sticking on Oklahoma, that John Mateer kid last night was just electric. The movement, the ability, his moxie. He's got some Baker. He's got some Brett Favre in him. I just saw a gamer last night. And Kurt Herbstreit talked about it. And I miss guys like that play the quarterback position. I know you got to be like Tom Brady and all this stuff. But I miss guys like Brett Favre and Baker, those kind of personalities that ignite a fucking locker room. And I feel like John Mateer has that. Now, what will the ceiling be for him with Oklahoma this year? I don't know. But I know last night, was it telling to me, and I went, okay, this kid can play. Now, we got to see what his career is in Oklahoma, because he's bounced around. I think this might be his last stop. I don't know. I can't keep count with all the transfer and all that stuff with the quarterbacks. But I was impressed with John Mateer last night. And I got to be honest, like, I think Michigan's going to be kind of in a rude awakening. So just to recap that game, I think Michigan's going to be okay. Hard schedule, I get it. It's different watching Michigan that just has kind of had like this J.J. McCarthy, lean kind of quarterback with this freak show talent and Bryce Underwood. If he can get the consistency down, because Michigan we saw can run the ball. They still have a little bit of hardball in them. Sherrone Moore is a former offensive lineman for Oklahoma. That was kind of a cool thing last night, watching that. But I just got a feeling, man, if they can run the football and then get Bryce Underwood to kind of play under control, kind of ease him into this, because eventually he's going to put Superman cape on and carry the team. Not yet. But if he can do that, and Michigan can do that, they're going to win some games this year. Because I saw when they had Harbaugh, they still want to run the football. They still want to be physical, run jumbo sets like they did last night on that first play after the second half with Justice Haynes, the Alabama transfer. So, again, I was impressed with Oklahoma last night. It was more so to do, to me, with Brent Venables getting into Bryce Underwood's head, kind of flustering him. He was 9 of 24 passing last night. I mean, that was just Anthony Richardson, Jamarcus Russell-esque accuracy. Hopefully that improves. But it was just a great atmosphere for college football last night. Oklahoma, Michigan, two blood programs. And it just was incredible. Hope you guys are doing well. Scary Sunday, spooky Sunday. Got more content coming out this week. Hope you guys are doing well. Adios. Godspeed.